Hi, this is the Student Health and Wellness Ambassador Helpful Tips training. We're so excited to have you on board for fall 2019. This is the second year of the Student Health and Wellness Ambassador program. In this presentation, we'll be talking about how you are representing our unit. We'll be discussing effective communication skills, as well as management of audience questions. When you appear at one of our events, you are in fact representing the entire Student Health and Wellness unit. First impressions matter. Please make sure you always have on your name tag, and as you introduce yourself, that you use your pronouns. Attire at different events. It's helpful to have this guideline. For resource fairs where we're interacting with a lot of parents, please wear khaki. In classroom presentations or for tasks within the department, jeans are completely acceptable along with one of your assigned shirts. We thought it might be helpful to offer some tips for effective communication skills. Tip number 1, it's important to have positive energy when you show up to share information and to actually focus on your communication skills and style, knowing what your strengths are and what areas could be benefited. Tip 2, practice does really help. Make sure you're familiar with the presentation that you're giving, whether it's presenting it for your roommates or simply standing in front of the mirror. Be sure to introduce yourself right away. People do want to know who you are. Make eye contact and scan through the audience or look just above audience members' heads. And having a video or a PowerPoint or some kind of prop does make things a little more interesting, which is hard, as you know, when you've been sitting there listening to all these presentations without us being there in person. And always ask the audience if they have any questions. Tip 3, there are 4 ways that you're communicating with the people in the room. Please pay attention. Which one is your strength? Tip number 4, active listening. It's really helpful, especially in a large room, if someone's asking you a question, that you repeat the question before you respond with an answer. That way, people in the back of the room heard the question and what you're answering. Clarify anything that needs to be clarified. Make sure you understood the question. Basic public speaking tips. Know the subject, know your audience and the space. Don't apologize or make excuses. Imagine yourself giving a great speech and focus in on the message, not on you. It's the message that the group is there to hear. So what gets in the way of us being good communicators? Tip number 6, ways to overcome any of the barriers you may be struggling with. We want to try and connect to the audience. It's a good idea to summarize what's been said. Ask good questions. Be culturally sensitive. Check along the way for understanding. Your body language, as you know, is just one of the ways you're communicating. What do your gestures say? What's your tone say? Use simple words so that people can really take in the message that you're offering. Outreach presentation, 6 tips to get ready. Have a good structure. Know what you're there for. List the objective. Give an introduction. List the main content. Make sure that there's a summary, a conclusion, and some recommendations. And as I mentioned before, always leave space for some questions. Choose wisely the images that you put in your presentation. Images are powerful and can either support or detract from your overall message. Presentation skills. The steps are so helpful. Plan it, prepare it, practice it, and present it. Tip 4. What you show makes a difference. You have to show ideas, not slides. Pull it together into a theme. Make your point easily understood. You've heard of the self-fulfilling prophecy. Tell yourself you're going to do a great job at the presentation. Your brain registers what you tell it. Imagine you came to hear my presentation, and this is what happened. This is the first slide of my PowerPoint. Imagine what that would feel like as an audience member. We've talked about the do's, things to avoid: talking too fast or too slow, reading directly from your slides, pacing around will be a distraction from the words, fidgeting with your hands, feet, putting your hands in your pocket, or saying like, you get the idea. One of the most interesting and sometimes challenging parts of a presentation can be the Q&A at the end. You've prepared for your presentation, you know what you're going to say, and then comes the spontaneous part. Learn what you can so you're ready to answer questions. Review your information about the cluster. It's really okay to say, I don't know. Follow it up with, and I'll find out and get back to you. Make sure you get the audience member's email address so that you can follow up with them. Another way to say that is, great question, I'll find out and get back to you. Or I'll find out and I'll email that information to your advisor or your instructor. It's so true that we would really rather hear I don't know than some made up answer. Together, we will be able to represent the cluster through our presence and presentations. We'll be able to answer questions at the event or to follow up with an answer post-it. We will work hard to be on time, to be prepared for the task we've signed up for, communicate effectively, be patient with ourselves and with each other, and to do our best efforts, take and experience, and to grow from there. We know it's going to be a great year.